This week on Sport Fishing, we'll be departing out of San Diego, California, fishing aboard the Eclipse. We're going to be going offshore looking for bluefin tuna, dorado, and yellowtail. It's always a lot of fun fishing aboard the Eclipse, and fishing offshore, you never know what to expect. So stay tuned for this week's exciting episode of Sport Fishing.
Over the rail. Yeah, there we go.
I'm Dan Hernandez, and I live to fish. That's a nice vermilion right there. Yeah, this is what fishing's like. I have been fishing along the Pacific coast my entire life. Let me bring you in the action and share with you some great fishing tips along the way.
There. Wow. Woohoo! Good job, brother. Good job there, man. Oh, it's a dodo!
First one of the season.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
All right, keep going left. Keep going left. Keep your eyes up high. Keep coming left, guys. Here we go, Stevie. How you doing there, Steve? Keep going left. All right, guys. Keep going. Blind! You got him! You got none of your auto. Look, zone defense. Alright, lift your rod tips up, guys. Keith, you're going to keep going up to your left. Keep going up to your left.
Thanks, man. Eclipse. Yeah, first dodo in my life.
Right on. First one?
First one ever.
First fish of the day for me. Took a long run out there. Had a half-dead sardine belly hooked. Ran out quite a ways. Just picked up and ran. Kicked it into the lower gear. And now we're just kind of wearing him down.
Coming over. Oh! Very nice fish. Nice job, Ernie.
Yeah.
Well, right now we're about 125 miles offshore. We're just drifting. The skipper found a meter mark last night and kind of stayed in the area. First light, we got baits in the water and we started getting bit pretty quick. This is Jim, he's on a fish. And just watch his technique, he does a good job. He's just, every time he lowers the rod tip, he's turning the handle. See how he uses the rod and the reel to gain line. So he's gonna pick up the rod and he gets to a point where he's got a nice bend in the rod. And then when he gets the head turned a little bit, then he drops the rod tip and he cranks on it. That's exactly how you wind on a fish. It doesn't matter if it's a bluefin tuna like what we're hooked on now, a marlin, or even a rainbow trout. It's all the same technique. It's all about using the rod tip correctly so it beats up the fish, and then use the drag on the reel to like slow the fish down or kill the fish. And that's what he's doing here. He's been around the boat a few times. Must be a nice sized tuna. But this is a technique you want to do. You don't want to be turning the handle while you're lifting the rod. You don't want to be dropping the rod down and then trying to turn the handle. You just want to do it just like that, nice and easy, constant pull, just take your time. We're not going anywhere till he gets that fish in, and that's what you do. The other key to this type of fishing too, that's what you do once you got the fish hook. The big key though is to be changing your bait all the time. You want to have a good fresh bait out there away from the boat. These bluefin tuna are real finicky, so we're using some fluorocarbon too. So just get that bait away from the boat a little bit, good lively bait. And once you hook it, you fight it like Jim, and you should end up with some fresh sashimi right after that. All right, we're gonna take a little break from the action here, go to the tackle box, give you a good look at the gear we're using for today's fishing. This week in the tackle box, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we're doing today. We're fishing offshore looking for tuna using live bait, live sardines. And the most important part about fishing a live sardine is to pick a good lively bait. It's called live bait fishing for a reason, and I can't tell you how many times I watch anglers just go to the bait tank, grab anything they can, usually something that looks like it's dead, and pin it on, and then they get disappointed they can't catch fish. The guys that are really successful, the anglers that are successful, spend a little bit of time at the bait tank. They're looking at the bait wells, they're looking at all the bait swimming around there. They want to get one that's so hard to catch, they have to use both hands. It's swimming really hard in there. The ones that are swimming the best in the bait well are the ones that are going to swim the best out in the water, running away from the tuna. They're going to look attractive to the tuna, they're going to come down, chase them down, and eat them. Now, once you pick the good live bait, it's hook selection. If you're new to the sport, you're not quite sure when to set the hook, use the circle hook. If you're really familiar with it and you like to drive that hook in the fish, then use a J hook. Some days I use one and then I go the other. If I'm having trouble setting the hook, I'll go to a circle hook. But as a rule, I usually use a J hook. And just to let you know what they look like, this is the two differences. The difference is when a fish runs with the circle hook, all you do is put the rod in gear, point it to the fish, and it hooks itself. With the J hook, you're gonna let it run to a count of 3 or 4, put the reel in gear, let all that slack line come out of your rod, out of your line, and then drive that hook into the fish. You gotta pull that hook out of the bait and right into the fish. So you gotta pull really hard. At that point, you have the fish, and all it is a matter of winding it in. I know when all the action's going off and you're really excited, you wanna hurry up and get to rail and throw out your bait, the big key is to spend a little time at the bait tank. You just want to stay there at the bait tank and find a good lively bait. You get a good quality bait, you're going to have a more successful day. It isn't always about how much time you spend at the rail as it is about how much time you invest at the bait tank to get a good lively bait. And if you can't find a good lively bait, if all the baits in there have red noses and missing scales, ask the deckhand to please get you some more bait. They'll dig down there, they'll get you a bait, put it in the bait well. It'll be great. You know, deckhands and the skippers, they all want you to have a successful trip. So just ask for help and they'll be glad to help you. Well, let's get back on the water and show you more exciting action right here on Sport Fishing.
Walk towards me, walk towards me.
Breathe in your nose, breathe in your nose. Roger up, roger up.
Oh, look at that, baby. We did it. We did it together. Yay. Awesome. Awesome.
Skipper just made a move and we found a cow patty. Everyone's bit. Got fish going, Renee's on. I'm hooked. We got 15 or so hooked up. Here comes one fish right now.
There it is.
It's just wide open chaos. Get in front of your fish, right there, see right there. Stay on your fish. Ron's got a fish right here. There's another fish. There's 3 fish tangled together right here.
All right.
Cut that one off. Free swimmers all around the boat.
Yeah, coming to you. Just leave them in the water.
You guys switch places.
All right, heads up. All right, go around, go around, go around. All the way around, all the way around.
Watch your rod tip. Here comes my fish right here. Gaff. Yeah. I'm gonna bounce it. There's my fish right here. Here comes my yellowtail. My first yellowtail of the day. We got about 20 fish going right now. It's wide open. This is crazy. This is what fishing's like. Bluefin tuna is one of the most prized game fish in all of the world. They're one of the most versatile fish that can be found worldwide in all but the coldest waters. In California and northern Baja, bluefin tuna can be caught as early as May through October, and they prefer water from 62 to 68 degrees, normally feeding on anchovies, sardines, squid, and other small bait fish.
It's up. It could be.
Is that how they catch it from Maryland? Good job, Anthony. Knot it up, stay on the line. Way to go, buddy.
All right. Good deal.
Another one.
Perfect timing.
You did. But I got him.
I was like, was that you or did it lose it?
The line. The line.
All right.
Woohoo!
Smile.
Get in there for the camera.
Thank you.
Buddy. Very nice. Slide right.
All right.
We got you. We're going.
Let me through here, guys. Another rod on my line.
Slide right, guys. Under the corner.
Steve, get your rod over here. This rod right here, right here.
All right, step right. Keep going right. All the way up.
Steve, get your rod over here. Here, this is force it. Right there. There we go. Another yellowtail. 3 for me. 2 more for my limit. We're out here on the Eclipse. Just went by that cow patty. First time we went by there, we got about 20 fish. Second time, this is the only fish we got so far. See if some tuna come by too. All right, we take a little break from the action here aboard the Eclipse and go to the Galley and show you how to cook up one of these delicious fish that we're catching today. This week in the Galley has something a little bit different for you. We're inside my house, so this is my little kitchen. And I'm gonna be doing a ceviche dish for you. This one's a little bit different. It's tuna. Usually you don't do ceviche with tuna, but I have a neat little recipe I want to share with you. It's a little bit spicy, but I know you're gonna enjoy it. So let me get started on making the ceviche dish for you. Again, we're using bluefin tuna, freshly caught, and just put this all in my mixing bowl. And the first thing I like to do is start letting it cook. And the way you cook ceviche is by using citrus. So I'm gonna be using lemons and limes. Just gonna go ahead and start putting these in here. Put some lime juice in there too. You can see this is really cooking up fast. And I guess cooking isn't really the right term, but you can see how it is, I guess, the right term, because really the juices are really cooking the fish here. It was that bright red tuna color. Now it's already getting really light. So I'll mix this a little bit more. Now I start adding my ingredients. So I have jalapenos. Have to have jalapenos for a spicy dish. Green onions, red onions, and some ginger root. This is really starting to look good. The juices are really cooking in there really nice. At this point, I'm just gonna add a little bit of soy sauce. Adds a little bit of flavor, a little bit of salt to it, and just to give it a little bit extra kick, just a little bit of salt to flavor. That's sea salt. Just mix it all in really good. And this is it. This is the whole dish. At this point, I'd put it in the refrigerator right now and let it sit there for 2 to 3 hours. Just let all those juices just soak right in there and just let it all absorb it into the fish, and it would be delicious. And here's the finished dish. It looks really good. Put it in the refrigerator for a couple hours, let all those juices soak into the fish. Just some bluefin tuna, real simple ceviche dish. Just want to show you something that you can do on the water. You know, you get hungry out there, you want a nice little snack, something that tastes good, healthy for you. Ceviche is a great dish, and you don't have to worry about having a stove on the boat. Ceviche, all you need some lemon, limes, a few little other ingredients, and you're good to go. I'm gonna taste this one. Just grab a little chip here, some jalapenos. That is really, really good. And just taste all that flavor inside the fish. And bluefin tuna, it's hard to mess it up. It tastes so good anyways. But you make ceviche out of it. It's a nice, simple dish to make. Well, let's get back on the water and show you more exciting action right here on Sport Fishing. Do you know what the largest yellowtail ever caught in California weighed? Was it 80 pounds, 40 pounds, or 120 pounds? That's right, it was 80 pounds.
This one we didn't let get away. This one we captured. Really nice great bluefin tuna here. Went to go put his head down when he plucked him up just before he
Nice skip.
turned
Good
away
foot.
this time.
Woo!
Oh, boy. Yeah, Gloria.
Yeah, you did it! Babe, I got it! Look, this is it! My first one! 8 years I've been after this. 8 years.
Yeah, you gotta eat the heart now.
Yay! No. Oh, yay!
I got one.
Yay, I can't believe it! Yes!
All right, let's bring your rod over here.
So I got another fish going. Last couple of fish I got either sawn off or fish bit through the line. So now I've moved up to 50-pound test line. A little bit bigger reel, a little bit heavier rod, so I can pull on it, force it a little bit more. Hopefully it's a nice, a great fish. Work my way up this way. We got 5 more fish going in the back of the boat. I'm just trying to stay away from those.
All right. There you go. Nice yellowtail.
So every time the fish picks his head up, just gonna take a crank or two. Just wanna bring him up, convince him he's gonna die, and it makes it a little easier. Just get a nice crank or two on him. You see him?
Yep.
Deep color. So I have my fish going in circles. If I had a 2-speed reel, I guess you could press a button now, but this fish is manageable right now. Straight up and down, deep color. Where are you? No, I didn't. There we go. Here's my tuna, and just got that fly lining, and you see my hook right there. Got lucky, got right in the corner of the jaw. I've lost a couple because the tuna have teeth, and they swallowed my hooks and they cut through the line. But we got this one. Nice gaff, man. My fish is running all over the place. Just want to keep my rod tip up, And every time I can, take a little crank. You see deep color on mine. Here comes my fish. Here he comes. I'm gonna try to keep him here.
Coming back under.
There we go. Just a couple cranks away. Try to lay him flat here. He didn't like that.
Saw the hook.
Yeah.
Come in the corner, come in the corner.
Yeah! Woo! Woo!
Patty!
Nice, Josie.
Angry fatty.
Beautiful bluefin tuna. And you can see where it's gaffed right in the head.
Still hot.
That's a beautiful, beautiful fish. Well, for this week's tip of the week, two things. One, always use a lively bait and check your line all the time. Today we got a lot of yellowtail and I lost a couple of fish because I didn't change my knot. I had some frayed line, threw it out and I got bit by tuna. This one I tied on a fresh hook, paid off. That's this week's tip of the week. Make sure your line's nice and set good. I want to thank the whole crew of the Eclipse, Mark, all the guys, Steve, Josh, everybody did a great job. We had a great time fishing aboard the Eclipse, we always do. We had a great time, just lots of bluefin tuna, yellowtail, couple of dorado. It was an awesome day on the water. Well, I'm Dan Hernandez, hoping you enjoyed this week's episode of Sport Fishing, and I hope you join us again next week as we go looking for more of the best in sport fishing. Thanks, man.
Good job.
Woo!